Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be all DIYs inspired by the brand I.Am.Gia. And then I have a surprise for you. This is a little sneak peek, but I have a fully thrifted I.Am.Gia inspired outfit as well. So if you're not into DIYs and stuff, you can just skip ahead to the lookbook. I'll put the timestamp down here if you want to see all of how the looks came together and some thrifted versions as well, in case you're not into the do-it-yourself kind of thing. But yeah, I've got 3 DIYs for you. 2 of them took me like 4 days. I just could not get it, but I think they came together, and I will say that I am happy with how they turned out. So I have 2 pairs of pants. I guess it's like 3 outfits of DIY. So I have 2 pairs of pants, 2 tops, and a dress. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna start with, I think, these pants. So let's go from here. Yeah, so I decided to start with the brown set because I think that this is gonna be the easiest probably. So here are these on. And then basically I'm going to just make that like ruched part kind of right here. And then it's probably just gonna go to the bottom of the band. There is the plan anyway. I don't have a ton of room to work with, so I'm gonna try to do something cool with the strings like the I.Am.Gia pants have so that I can add a little bit of something to these. Okay, so what I'm doing here, both these sides have these little elastic bits on them, and I just want to take those out because I want to expand this top waist belt, you could say. So I'm just seam ripping those elastic parts out, which did make little holes, but I fixed them in a minute, so yeah. So I'm starting on the pants. As you saw, basically what I did, the sides have these little elastic bits, and so I just cut the elastic so that they weren't so scrunched up because I just don't need them. So now my dilemma, and here's my debate with myself. So I can totally just make a channel here and then make this scrunch, right? Like the example has. However, that's not a ton of space, and I'm worried it's gonna be super low rise and not flattering. So my thought is I could, cause this is double layered, okay? So I could cut this layer here in the inside and then open it up, make it like a high-rise situation, and then put the channel in, and then probably have to add elastic or something in. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards, but honestly I'm just nervous. I just had to talk myself through it to you guys. The only thing that's gonna be kind of dumb is that when I open it, it's gonna have this seam in the middle, but I think with the ruche in there that it'll be hidden enough. I don't know for sure. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Wish me luck. Okay, so I did it and expanded this top part here, and now I'm just fixing those little holes that kind of happened when I ripped out that elastic bit in there. So I'm just gonna sew these up just to fix that gap, and then I'm gonna make a channel here in the center. Alright, so now that those sides are fixed, I'm going to make a channel right in the center. So I'm using some scrap fabric from the top. It doesn't really matter what color this is because you're not really going to see it anyway, but I guess it's nice that it's also brown. So I am cutting out a long rectangle that fits right into that waistband part. And now when I sew, I'm gonna sew 3 lines, one down the center of that little part of fabric that I added, and then one down each side, just 3 straight lines, and that is what you're gonna thread your string through. And now you can use string or whatever you want. I am just using scrap fabric again, so I am just cutting and using actually the hem piece from the leftover of this brown shirt, and you're just gonna thread that through like you'll see in a second here, and that is gonna be what is gonna cinch that middle part for you. Alright, so here's how they're looking after I hemmed that top portion to give it nice and clean finish. Sorry, I keep moving this like shirt dress thing out of the way. But basically I just have some extra fabric here, so I'm going to take it in a little bit on both sides, just pin it, and then sew it up. And now I am just taking it in a little bit on both sides so that it fits a little better, and they turned out really cool in the end, and you can see the final shot at the end. And this brown shirt, I think it will work well enough to make that kind of ruched top, and then I'm going to use excess from the shirt to be the strings for the pants and whatnot. Yeah, let's get going. Okay, so I'm using this blue tank top just as a little guide. So I am cutting around half of the shirt, and then I'm going to fold it over so that I have symmetrical sides. I'm making this one a little bit longer than this blue tank top because I wanted to have a little bit more length to it. And I'm just, yeah, kind of using that as a guide. So now I'm really loosely pinning the shirt on both sides since it's not sewed together yet, so that I can make those cutouts for the neckline and whatnot be really symmetrical. So I'm pinning here, and then I'm going to fold it right in half, and that way I can make sure that both the seams line up and the armholes and stuff line up perfect, and then I can go ahead and make that V cut out. Now I just turn the shirt inside out, and I am repinning down the sides again so that I can actually sew and hem up the sides. Alright, so now that it's sewed and we have like a real tank top thing happening, I'm gonna do exactly what I did with the pants and make a channel so that I can create that kind of ruched part down the middle of the tank top. So I'm just using some scrap fabric and I'm gonna cut out a rectangle just like I did with the pants, and then same thing, just sew it right down the center and then right down both sides as well. And then same exact method with the pants. I am using some scrap fabric for the string, and then I'm just gonna feed that through the bottom so that the other end also comes out the bottom, and then that is where my excess string is. Right, so it's looking pretty good. I know I could have used a matching thread for the shirt that probably would have looked a lot better, but I just didn't have it, so just lay off me, guys. Don't start with me, okay? It's looking pretty good. I debated about hemming the neckline, and I kind of hemmed and hawed over it for a while, and then I decided not to. So, enough's enough. You can see the final shot at the end. Alright guys, this is the shirt that is kind of the inspo for this next shirt. I didn't really want to put the same saying on this shirt, but this will kind of be a DIY as to how you could if you wanted to. I ended up just going with a design instead of a saying, but you could do either which way. So what I have here is just transfer paper that you can buy at Target, Walmart, a handful of different places, and you can use it with a regular printer as well. So basically you just print your design or your word or whatever onto the paper, follow the instructions in the box, and you pretty much just cut it out. You cut out any white negative space that you don't want on there, and then you just iron it onto a shirt. It's super easy. It's a lot easier, I'd say, than buying like those individual little letters from Michaels that you can like iron on. And because this way you can just spell out exactly what you want. You don't have to look and make sure there's like 3 A's in the box. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here. I'm cutting out my design. I just went with this little like butterfly design that's like super trendy. And then the shirt, I actually didn't thrift. I actually grabbed it from Walmart when I was there, and it is definitely a baby shirt. So I just wanted to get that fit that the I.Am.Gia t-shirt has, which is just like a really tight baby tee. So this is what worked best for me. So yeah. And then of course I just cropped it, because you gotta. And that's pretty much all there is to it. And then also when I placed the design, I put it up a little higher. I think that kind of has the same effect as like the baby fitted tee style, is that prints or words or whatever are usually a little bit higher, closer to the neckline. So I just kind of kept that in mind. And yeah, this one's super easy. Okay, y'all, so this was by far the most difficult DIY that I've probably ever done. And just so you guys know, okay, don't have super high expectations. I am not super crazy with how these came out. I think it was pretty good for a first attempt. I would love to try this again in the future. I think with maybe a better suited pair of pants for this. But nevertheless, they are still cute, so do watch. So basically, I just made a pattern for this petal shape for both sides, and then I cut it out and I left the elastic band on the top so that I wouldn't totally destroy the integrity of the pants. And then I just put this paper in so that you guys could kind of see the shape I'm working with now. And since these leggings are double layered, I went ahead and just pinned them together so that they wouldn't get all super funky on me. But yeah, this was already like super tricky, so it kind of comes together. Hey guys, ignore this. I am deep conditioning because it's like midnight. Alright, so I'm holding these up right now because obviously they're not attached. I just did some bias tape around these edges, and I'm going to do this side and show you how I did that. This is the first time I've ever used bias tape, so be a little patient with me. But I think it's actually looking pretty good. So like these are going to kind of come together, and this is going to create that flower petal look. Yeah, I just wanted to check in, show you guys where we're at. Obviously I'm holding them up because I don't have the ring in there yet. But yeah, I'm going to show you how I did this side now. I bought bias tape at Walmart. I had always seen it and like never really understood how to use it. And then I tried to make my own here before I bought this, and that was really hard. So I went to Walmart tonight and I bought it instead. So I just got this pink one. What size is this? This is 0.5 inches wide, so ½ inch wide. And then I did also get the larger one as well, just in case, but I like the smaller one. So I'm gonna be using this. So yes, let's jump into that. Let's do the other side of the flower, and it's coming together. Like I just explained pretty much, I am just putting this bias tape all around the edges of the flower, and I'm starting a new piece of bias tape at each end of the petal, if that makes sense, so that I can get kind of more of a harsh line, if you will, instead of like wrapping around and doing one continuous bias tape all around. I just cut it at each corner, if that hopefully makes sense. I'm doing my best to explain. But yeah, so I just sewed this all around. Again, don't come at me for the unmatching thread. It was my first try for this DIY. I think it worked fine. It looks a little tacky, but it's fine. And then now I am basically just taking each end of the flower part that goes inward, and I am making little loops. So I am using these little binder rings for the middle ring on the center, and I am just hand sewing little hoops to each, and then in the top portion I did end up adding a little bit of fabric in order to have a little loop that could extend it down to the ring. So here's them on for the first time since adding the bias tape and the ring and everything. I think I like where it's sitting and everything. It is just bunching a little bit weird on the top of the petal. I think it's a little bit too long. So I went ahead and just sewed those corners down, and I think it looks a lot better than it did. And then I went and added some fabric to create those little loops on the top part of the flower for the ring. And that's pretty much it. I kind of just finessed them from there. They're kind of cute. They look a lot cuter in the end shot, I will say that. So give them a chance, but there. Alright, so this is the last and final DIY, and this is the inspiration here. I made a few changes, of course, for myself, but this actually did end up being like the easiest DIY I did for this whole video, except maybe the shirt where I just printed a butterfly on it, but alas. I think this is actually my favorite one, and this one took the least amount of time. So here I am just kind of planning out my plan of attack. And it took me a long time to figure out how this back part was like attached in the original dress. I don't know why, I just like could not figure it out. So it took me a minute to kind of map out, but then once I got it, it's pretty simple. So here I am folding the dress in half down the front, and that way I can make these two triangle cutouts in the front. So I'd cut out more of a triangular neckline, and then I cut out this triangle underneath where the bust would be. Alright, and since this dress is a halter top, I am taking off that back strap and creating more of an open back look as well. So I'm cutting this curve out here, as you can kind of see, and then I'm leaving this space almost to kind of act like where like your bra clasp would be, if that makes more sense. And that's where I'm going to put an O-ring in the back as well. And yeah. And then here I am trying it on before I cut off all that excess and whatnot, making sure the cutouts are sitting where I want them. And then I am planning how or where I want to cut out for that little cutout they have in the back, kind of right above your tailbone. So I'm just planning how far down I want it, and I'm just gonna mark it so I know where to go. I guess I missed a shot in here somewhere. But I just cut a straight line to the seam from where I made that mark. And here is that kind of part I was talking about. That's kind of like where your bra strap would be. And so this is where I'm going to put an O-ring. So I'm going to sew 2 little loops on the end of these straps here. And you'll see, it'll make more sense as you watch. But I'm sewing 2 little loops here, and that's what I'm going to put the O-ring through. Alright, and here I am trying it on after I added that O-ring, so hopefully that whole thing makes a little more sense now. And I will say that this DIY definitely works with a fitted dress, so it's going to be a lot easier if your dress is already fitted. Here I am just cutting off that excess on the sides there that I'm kind of pointing out that it's just like flaring out weird. And then I'm going to adjust the halter because now I know for sure where I want it to sit. So I'm going to go ahead and just mark it, and then I'm going to sew those, cut those straps, and then sew them together on the mark. Alright, so now I'm going to do that little detail right above the tailbone, which is just like a little ruched situation. So I am just pinching and pinning where I want that ruche to go down to. and I'm just gonna take it off, and then I'm just gonna hand sew a little accordion fold into that space. Did the same exact method for the top where the breast kind of section is, and I just cut and made 2 little loops and then put in this teeny tiny little O-ring. Same exact way I did the back, and yeah, it looks great. Can't wait for you guys to see it in the try-on clip right now. all I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Let me know what you think of this like lookbook style as well at the end. I think it was a lot of fun. I hope Nicholas had fun filming. Did you have fun filming, babe?
Sorry, yeah.
Just a sweaty mess right now. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what DIY was your favorite, and if you try these DIYs, let me know. I love I.Am.Gia. They're always so cute and always popping off. So I thought a lot of these look DIYable, so let's try to make some ourselves. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.